Ladies and gentlemen, please strap yourselves in for Stable Talk.
Woo! That was the most dramatic entrance we've had for Stable Talk. Mr. James Kelly, who got stage fright before having to do the introduction.
Yeah, that's far cry difference, isn't it? Me wooing on a podcast compared to me going, oh, hello, hello.
I was expecting a Benedict Cucumber kind of intro, though. Some kind of...
Oh, really?
My name is James. Instead of Khan, but you know.
I think you think my voice is too good. Like, you guys seem to like the British accent, but...
Yeah, there is that generic American affinity for the British accent. It's like... It's like when you hear your parents' voice, and, you know, it's like comforting in its own way. Yeah.
Oh. Well, I know who has a really cool voice, and that is the newest person on our podcast, Krellak.
Oh, snap!
He sounds like an actual ghoul.
Transition!
Transition!
Yeah,
Hello.
we should introduce our new artist. Yeah. I want to properly title you. I don't want to misgender Zer.
It's fine.
It tickles my shackles, that does. Oh.
Cochlea is the word you're looking for.
All right, thank you. I had no clue what I was about to say.
Yes, I remember that joke. 8th grade was a good time for me.
Talk about yourself, Krellak. We want first off, this is Stable Talk. New member, Krellak. How's your sex life?
Fine.
That's right.
It's fine.
Oh, I thought you said 9. I'm like, hey, that's quite the hookup.
Oh.
Man, it's quite the pile.
This is some DJ Pony shit right here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he just sleeps in mares. Either that or he sleeps in...
No comment. That joke is too easy to write. I don't even have to take it anywhere.
There's some members in the chats that want to be in the podcast.
Well, they can frickin' knock on the door. No, how do we have... That's up to James, I think, to add them.
Yeah. If we can get this to 9 people, right, we're getting somewhere. Okay.
Krell. Don't just put out links to join the conversation, Krellak. Okay. Krellak.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they
9-horse hookup. Here we go.
We're gonna have the whole studio with the podcast.
It's like the
my
human
God.
centipede, but better, because it's, yeah.
No, the Human Centipede is horrible. Like, I could not watch 5 minutes of it. It was just... Oh.
No, you know what's worse than Human Centipede? Human Centipede 2. That is some sick stuff.
Or, my best friend watched all 3 in a row.
There are
The
3 of them?
third one is like Sharknado levels of jumping the horse. It's like, okay, now we're gonna hook up 500 people. Come on now. Now it's getting ridiculous. Come on, guys.
I didn't even know they made a 3rd one. Someone got paid to write a 3rd one.
Oh yeah. They probably bought a house with it. Who knows?
Here we are. We're sitting here writing these amazing scripts completely for free, and some asshole got paid to write the Human Centipede 3. That makes me sad.
I just like to put it out there. If someone wants to pay me to write Human Centipede 4, I will absolutely do it for the right paycheck, and I will top the first 3. Absolutely.
Yeah, you're gonna have everyone connected by the deck.
No. Same basic format, but you mix it up. It's not just humans. You got horses, elephants. That'd be hilarious. You have to connect to the elephant through a giraffe, say, because of the height difference. You see? This is the kind of gold you could pay me to write.
Oh my God.
Sorry, what?
Honestly, that's actually kind of like a good idea. For once you've jumped the shark in, number 3, just fucking go for it,
Oh, they absolutely jumped the shark in number 3. Welcome to Stable Talk, bitches. This is what you're here for.
Oh, God. Oh, I fucking God. How is this?
Discussing what?
Oh my God, is there another person in the call?
Welcome to the orgy.
Oh my God, it's Webkilla.
If only we had Daniel Mohan in here, he could sit in and be like, just his reaction of all of this.
His
Then we'll have all
reaction
the
would be
epic
something
voices.
along the lines
Probably
of this
nicely
with
tied
an
me
Irish
over.
accent.
I was going to say that for the audience listening, this is my actual voice. I'm not pretending.
He's not kidding.
It's not like Filthy Frank where he's just putting it all.
He sounds like a ghoul. Like, honestly, we can just have him voice all our ghoul characters.
Well, Terminal Secrets might need a few male voice actors, so...
Terminal Secrets needs a lot of voice actors. Episode 5 is basically just going to be a whole... It's going to be a marathon of stables.
Yeah.
We also need female VAs just in general. So if you're a woman, if you identify as a woman, if your voice identifies as a woman, we could definitely use it.
Well, episode 2, special cameo from actually my mum. For anyone that actually watches Terminal Secrets, episode 2, when there's the... someone's talking about something, she's doing a monologue type thing, and then out in the background there's a
Is that your mum?
So wait, what was the discussion of this?
You cast a character in Terminal Secrets without even telling me.
Did you just invite her in the room and be like, hey mom, can you scream for a second? And she's like, why?
Can we take a moment to...
It was pretty much like that. I'm pretty sure she was coming in with like washing or something, and I was just like, Mum, do you want to just do a bit of like voice acting? She was like, yeah, okay. That's literally how it went. Like, it's all I do. Like, that's, for like obviously the sound work, because obviously I don't want to just have to get tons of people to do it. I normally try and do everything myself. So, last episode was, my mum. This episode's it's running downstairs and smashing my fridge to make metal door sounds.
Oh yeah.
So, I go to some extreme lengths.
Impromptu Foley work is amazing. I had this one sound effect from my old dishwasher at my old apartment in Virginia, and literally you open the door and it's this perfect, like, old rusty spring, like a... And I was like, I got that recorded and I mixed that so many places. It's great.
I actually feel kind of sorry for Mr. James Kelly, because with all of his impromptu Foley work, I went to him for Terminal Secrets episode 3. Was it 3? Yeah, it was 3. I said, okay, James, I need you to do this, and this, but not quite this for the editing. It was a goddamn long meeting.
Well, that was mostly because we just kept going off topic and then back on topic, but... Yes,
that is fair. Yeah. But essentially, Terminal Secrets 3 is, it's basically just James Kelly showing off his sound editing. He's just
oh, that's good, because it's
just wait until you get to the hoof sound effects, because I've got my coconuts ready, and I've got a ton of desks, and actually,
fantastic.
Before we did the podcast, I was actually about to do some hoof steps. I've got a book for one type of material. I've got a placemat for another. Like, I am prepared for
I'm actually glad of that, because I've always been kind of ambivalent on the hoof step sounds we've used for Terminal Secrets up till now, and I know that's like 90% my fault because I chose them, but hoof steps on metal plating is really hard to do. Like, finding it is tricky.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't just have metal plates lying around. That's my problem. Like, apart from radiators, there's no metal. It's all wood or something, or...
I have metal bits lying around.
Seriously?
Lucky. You are lucky.
I'm an engineer. What do you expect?
SkyBolt's an engineer, and he doesn't have any metal plates lying around.
Wait. No. You never asked me. I have a metal sink that I can use for Foley, and I also have my fridge for if you want a denser metal sound.
Never mind. SkyBolt is correct.
Fancy.
Yeah, hold up now. Don't you be saying things about me. I know where the metal is. I work with pipes.
Okay, right. Shall we direct this tweet to stable tech thing?
See, yeah, the exponential increase in people by like half an exponent or whatever is like, this is going to get more crazy. Just now we have 5. Oh my gosh.
Well, you posted the chat link in the stable tech off-topic thing. What do you expect?
Yeah, that was Krellak's fault. See, normally we try and...
that was my fault.
I have work tomorrow.
So normally how we organize the podcast is, or at least in theory how you organize this podcast is, you organize... whatever it is that I do here, organize is not a good word. But you pick the people beforehand, you get them into a group chat, and then you start recording the podcast. Krellak, in the middle of the call, then decides, hey guys, can we add in some more people? And he links the podcast chat into the Stable Takes business chat. Fucking.
Rookie mistake.
Actually wearing pants.
That was
It
a
was
rookie
like
mistake.
the perfect share link. Absolutely.
It was,
Yeah.
Okay, so I wouldn't call this organizing, no, because I say organize the guests beforehand, but then it always just ends up being SkyBolt, myself, and Kelly.
Very true.
Well, it's just like I remember someone mentioned that we really should just record the Saturday meetings, the very regular, actually, Saturday meeting, because it always devolves into something like this at the end. It's like 20 minutes of updates and then this.
Well, I mean, that's how the podcast sort of got reborn, was we do the meeting, and then it'll just be SkyBolt and I, you and I, fucking bitching
Blabbering on.
or blabbering on about God knows what for the next 2 hours at least. Like, oh, right, we should record this.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Finally.
But we do have some
So
form
an idea that what we could do is that was really Stephen Hawkins in.
Those all your porn torrents, dude.
So, guys, we're about 13 minutes in, and we haven't spoken about the big news. Fucking the animatic, which came out earlier today at the time of recording.
Unrecognizable. Can anyone else understand James?
I cannot understand him.
Oh my god.
What do you mean?
I wonder if it's like
Oh, animatic. I heard a key word there.
animatic.
Right, okay. Animatic. That's the one word I heard from James there.
I wonder if it's like Boomhauer, where we all sound like that to him through the recording.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm on South Africa.
But yes, animatic is something we could talk about. That's something that recently happened on the channel.
Yeah.
Vaguely recently. Yeah, it was only like.
Very good animatic, I might say, just so you know. But
I've seen worse.
Sound like a speak and spell.
Oh wow, my internet is crashing hard.
South African internet still goes through the old the rope telegraph line, so you have to remember it's not a big data bandwidth.
Yeah, I got fiber now.
Yeah, it might be a good idea to, I don't know, somehow try to keep future podcast members like somewhat geographically located.
I mean, to be fair, the three of us are all 4,000 miles apart in all directions, and we're like the core three now.
yeah. Oh fuck! I need to calm down. This is a hectic podcast already.
So I'd say, so the animatic. Let's talk about the animatic.
Okay.
Yeah, people were saying that like, oh, that something's been happened, but it's like, did no one like for everyone that's like listening? But did no one watch the like the BabsCon stuff and all the panels?
But yeah, no, the animatic is actually like a year old overall. It's like those are obviously there's like sort of 3 or 4 distinct segments that got produced at different times, and so it's basically, you know, different sections that different animation teams have worked on top of the puppeteers who are working on that whole bit in the beginning that hopefully you all watched.
Yep. No, that's the price of having volunteers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the volunteers don't set a price.
Well, more like volunteers don't necessarily remain in the studio forever.
Well, unless they're, you know, me or Mohan or fucking SkyBolt.
I was gonna say, you're gonna list me third? I've been here since freaking October 2013, bitches.
Yeah, I've been here since... I've been here since November 2013, so you beat me by a month.
This is literally like my 3-year anniversary with the studio. I'm an old man brony.
Right? It is, my 3-year anniversary is next month. You beat me by a month.
Oh, that's so sweet. We'll hold a party for both of you two.
Yeah, James is like freaking baby New Year sitting in here.
I am. I actually wrote it down on my calendar for when I joined, and so I could look back whenever I wanted and be like, yeah, I've been here for 3 months. Actually, yeah, I want to know. No, I joined. Fuck. No, that's too far. Sorry. I haven't been here that long. I just went back like an entire year, and I was like, shit, no.
No.
I think I joined in April or May or something. Yeah, something like that. So I've been here for a while, but you know.
And God bless him for being here. Good Lord, it would be hard to do Terminal Secrets without Mr. Kelly here to do the editing.
Yeah. Apart from college, but UK college, which is just high school. But yeah, I've got tons of fucking deadlines, and it's pissing me off.
Dude, I know that feel. Like, work got crazy for me.
Yeah, same.
But that's the thing of... Yeah. Go on.
You know, the freaking deadlines and so it gets really, really annoying trying to do fucking Terminal Secrets and Stable Talk, but then, you know, I'm at film school at the moment, and that's just a nightmare and a half.
And then if anyone's like me, you join tons of other shit and then take on too many responsibilities and...
Absolutely.
Yeah. It seems to be like a common theme of like this entire like sub-fandom. It's just people getting really, really busy with shit and then not being able to do shit because they've just taken on like, you know, freaking 2 weeks worth of shit in 1 week.
Fucking right. I'm pretty sure
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm pretty sure SkyBolt's starting to get really, really sick of me messaging him, saying, so I've got this new project.
Oh my gosh. You know what? Well, for me, I'm trying to find the time to actually edit freaking Confessions episode 5 because I have almost a full set of audio, and it's just like suddenly real life hit me with this like all this overtime and this freaking BS at work, and I'm like, damn it, I don't have free time anymore. So I'm working. I originally wanted to come out with it soon-ish, and now it's like slightly more soon-ish. So give it time, soon-ish, sure.
Yeah, Stable Tech runs on Valve time now.
No.
Yeah, also
We run on, Stable Tech doesn't run on Valve time. We run on CD Projekt Red time. You'll get it when it's ready. That's their
What a reference.
That's their sort of so if you look at the trailer for Cyberpunk 2077, they don't say it's coming soon, it's coming when it's ready.
It's coming when it's ready.
I mean, that was what
That's what
happened.
That's what SkyBolt's mother said last night too.
Oh!
So
I thought we were past that.
I'm gonna breeze right past that. And what was I saying?
Okay,
so freaking yeah, Confessions 5 is on the way, and so is Terminal Secrets 3, which I wrote. Thank you. And
I helped.
Shit. What else? Yes, you did. Yeah, and you also have to remember, everyone, that I'm doing pretty much all the art for Confessions now. Luckily, we have one new artist who's great, and he's helping me with one piece, so whenever he's done with that is also my new release date threshold. So you got to give me time. I'm doing my best, and I think I'm doing all right with my part of the artwork.
And this time, hopefully I'll remember to put this up in post. If everyone could just, if all the people listening to this could just direct their attention to the video screen, and if I've not been a lazy asshole, you'll see a picture of, from our new artist, the work he did, a rather interesting piece of Duchess Rose Petal.
Yes. Good characterization. That's what I love. It's all about the emotions in the face.
And what's happening behind
it was a cheeky picture. She looked very cheeky in the drawing.
Cheeky's one word.
Well, it'd be quite nice to hear everyone in the comments section. What do you think's making Rose Petal blush?
You see, you're saying that like you're going to remember to put the picture on screen, and that's there's literally zero chance of that happening.
If you look, so do you remember the last podcast where I promised to high heaven that I was going to add timestamps in for people to navigate the podcast more accurately?
Yes.
And it is still not there. I still have not done that.
You see, I'm looking at James's Skype profile, and it's that new picture of Starlight Glimmer where she's all like, her little happy face after yet another moment of enslaving a large group of ponies. And it's just like, it's so ridiculously fitting in this situation. Just like, yes, I'm fine. You forgive me.
I'm fine.
Yeah, no. That's Starlight Glimmer's face when she discovers Twilight's secret fanfic folder.
Oh, yeah. Also known as Library 3.
Right. You see. I'm more like Gloriosa from the new Equestria Girls movie. Don't worry, I got this.
Gloriosa. See, I did see that torrent of the movie. I have yet to watch it yet from whatever Spanish news network they put it on.
Right. I watched it. It was all right. It was nothing special. It was kind of forgettable. Which is a shame because
You can't really top the second one, though, can you? I mean, Rainbow Rocks really sort of encapsulated the entirety of the whole Equestria Girls thing, didn't it?
Rainbow Rocks is definitely my favorite, but I really like what they did with Friendship Games. I think that it's close. Like, it almost ties with Rainbow Rocks in quality.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just slightly lesser.
The thing is, I really love Sunset Shimmer as a character. She's really interesting.
She's so interesting that they had to make a Control-C, Control-V version for the actual show.
Yes. Don't even get me started on that. Actually, no. The worst person to talk about that is frickin' Mohan.
Oh, really? Oh, see, that's why I want him on. Think of a little Irish rant like that. That would be awesome.
Oh, God. Maybe I'll get him to record a rant about Starlight Glimmer and I'll make him... And it can go over the credits of the podcast, if I remember. Or if I am not too lazy to do it. I should not be running this podcast. I should not. It's a miracle the Terminal Secrets makes it onto the channel.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it is good stuff, yeah. We'd just be nagging you if it didn't get put up, because it would just be like, where the fuck's the next episode? Like,
We're all waiting to listen to it, man.
yeah, exactly.
I'll do it.
What would be amazing is if one day you also sent me the audio file so I could put it up on the Bandcamp, which will never happen.
Good. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm on that SkyBolt. I'll give you the audio file.
Yeah, ever since...
You want to give me the one for the last 3 also? That would be sweet.
I don't have a complete one from the last one.
I could give you guys a time portal to 4 months ago when I had this discussion with James before the first episode, and I even spent the time and I edited an album art for said podcast that looks like the video art, and that just sits on my computer all by itself, lonely.
I'll get to it eventually, Sky. I'll get to
2
it.
weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
It's just like the freaking scene from Total Recall. That's every meeting is, it'll be ready in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Anyway.
That's... Okay. Eventually, one of these days. Eventually, in 2 weeks.
James is a hard worker. Do not make me think I'm minimizing that. I just have fun with this little interaction, the podcastings.
I work hard on the writing of the scripts, but don't mistake that for someone who has his shit together. I don't have my shit together.
None of us do, I don't think.
Hey.
None of us.
I think maybe some of us, maybe one or two, maybe the rest of us are just most of us just kind of guessing.
I think the people listening, probably a few of them, actually have their shit together.
No.
Everyone who's joined Stable Tech probably has lost a little bit of sanity.
No, Kelly, they're listening to us.
After the
they don't have their shit together.
spanking, you have none left. Where you're forced to stare into the hell pit.
Yeah, I mean, my introduction when I joined Stable Tech was just welcome to hell. And then James on saying that I'm the better James, and you shall call me king. That was my introduction. It was very entertaining.
I forgot about that. So, 14th season of Red vs. Blue ended about an hour ago, 2 hours ago.
Implying that the 14th season has any kind of continuity with itself.
Zero, absolutely zero. But what was interesting, and I won't say any spoilers, but the season kind of ends with not necessarily one of the characters, not necessarily a fourth wall break, but with them sort of pleading with the audience to be creative. It was really surprising.
What, you're talking about season 19?
No, 14. 14.
Oh.
Where they were saying...
Sounds like...
They were talking about the importance of creating, and then once you've started creating something, whatever it is, don't ever, ever stop. And considering who we are, we're all writers or artists or creators in some form here on this podcast. It's just, it's always a nice little sentiment that, we create, and God hopes that we never ever stop.
Sounds like some virtue signaling for me. Hey guys, we're still cool with you. We're not part of some corporate super machine anymore. Yeah, we're totally with you, you small YouTubers. That's why we completely dropped off on our great show and filled it up with a whole bunch of random crap.
Okay, so SkyBolt, you and I are going to do combat right fucking now. Okay?
Maximum salt.
So much salt, I'm not editing that out because I'm going to do combat with you right now. The end of season 13 was fucking amazing.
The end of season 13 is bullshit.
It's amazing.
And,
okay.
It's the exactly kind of crap writing that freaking Sopranos tried to write itself off of. It's like, it's because obviously he died, so we don't have to write 10 minutes to actually conclude the story because he died. So black screen.
No, SkyBolt, you did not just shit talk. You did not just shit talk Bernie's writing. Okay, the writing that last monologue.
I absolutely did.
The monologue at the end of season 13 was expertly written. It was fucking amazing. They told you everything that they told you everything that happens. They concluded the story. But by having Church explain what's going to happen, he just doesn't know if it's going to happen or not.
Yes, and that's another great thing is of poor writing is explaining a story that you then don't show. That's like so many bad movies where they're built on an interesting premise, or a book built on an interesting premise, and then the actual execution is terrible. Like, I'm a big fan of A Man in the High Castle for the most part, but the original book, Philip D. Dick, is terrible. It's literally 10 pages of a really, really, really interesting idea that won him, I think that's a Nebula Award or something, and then 100 pages of absolute laid egg, where it doesn't execute on it whatsoever. There's no setup, there's no payoff. It's like, why did I read this? This wasn't even in story. This is just like filler. It's literally like reading an episode of filler in a good TV show, and that's exactly what season 14 of Red vs. Blue has been.
Okay, hey, we'll get into season 14 in a second, but on the ending of season 13, cutting it off like that helps to drive home the point of what Church is saying, the emotional drive of the hero doesn't see what happens. Cutting it off and not showing you the fight and only telling you what Church thinks is going to happen is the best way of doing it because it puts you there with the character. You're like, oh my fucking god. Church has told me how it's going to end, but I don't get to see that. He doesn't get to see that. We have to experience that pain and that fear together. Like, that's an emotional ending.
Here is where I would agree with you. If this were like a found footage movie, like, say, Cloverfield, where you're watching the entire story from a specific character's perspective or a camera, I would be more accepting of that artsy-fartsy bullshit. But it's not. There's whole seasons where Church is barely in it, or Epsilon, since it's not even Church anymore. And so him as the main character, yes, he is a main character. But even across the most recent formulation of the Chorus trilogy, he's barely a factor. It's like, well, he's a factor that shows back up after disappearing with Carolina for frickin' a season and a half. And so that is why, in my opinion, it's just Bernie walking back in and being like, okay, people weren't necessarily receptive of season 11 because Miles was trying to write like me. Season 12, Miles wrote like Miles. Then it worked out.
Yeah.
Season 13, they let Bernie back in the chair, but Bernie's all riding high from his frickin' Day 5 and his frickin' laser team, grandeur and the fact. And so he's all self-satisfied. And he's like, I'm just going to write Red vs. Blue, and I'm going to be all deep like I sort of was in the Revelation trilogy, except for the fact that the Revelation trilogy had a conclusion. It drove into the season 9 and 10 crap, which had a conclusion. You're introduced to a director voice. You're introduced to this councilman voice. And then you see both of them at some kind of conclusion. Like, if I could have watched the first 5 episodes of Lost and then been like, it's probably going to be some crap about, like, they're in purgatory, right? And then it's some crap about where they're, like, in purgatory or something. It's like, this is not good writing. This is, like, I don't know, circular logic kind of piecing things together on the back end.
Yeah, but if you think, not that they let Bernie into the writer's chair and he was writing high and self-satisfied. He did some of the story for season 13, and the only thing he actually physically wrote in terms of dialogue was that last monologue. And the reason was, that was meant to be it. They were meant to cut off Red versus Blue at the end of season 13. So,
Which is really ironic, considering their entire stance on the series up until that point.
Well, the point was that they didn't want to keep writing a show for the sake of writing it, because then it would see a quality drop. So it was fitting to have Bernie, who created the show, come back to write that final monologue for Church.
Are they still writing redversusblue.com? Yes.
Yes.
It's like, literally, it was a promise in the original broadcast across several different moments where this has been referenced, is they will keep writing the show until no one cares about it and no one's watching it anymore, and their company completely goes under. The only reason they would change that is because the company is not what it used to be. At its very core, in some good ways and in some bad ways, it has shifted into part of this new media machine that has taken hold of so many YouTubers and so many of those original things.
That I agree with. That I do agree with. I do.
Now let me be out there for everyone. I love Crunch Time. I love Day 5. I love Laser Team. I love a lot of the modern iterations. Ruby. I actually like Ruby more than Red versus Blue because they obviously stopped caring about Red versus Blue. That doesn't mean that it's the same as it was. And I'm going to be one of those back in my day kind of people by saying I've been watching since season 3, and whatever the original spirit was is gone. So yes, I agree with the fact that they did need to wrap it up at some point.
Yeah.
But this season 14 and the last episode of 13 is like the last season of that 70s show, or the last season of frickin' Roseanne, where it's like, yeah, we don't know what to do, and we're just kind of putting it out there because it gets the clicks, the metaphorical clicks, and so there you go. Yeah. Oh, this is our most expensive season, but it's also a lot of cross-promotion with our big buddies like Freddie Wong. Ooh, isn't it a lot of money? Look at how much money we can spend. We're going to blow up a warthog. Ooh.
Okay, to be fair, that was
kind
fucking
of crap I hate. It's like, hey, $10,000? That sounds like something we could use to pay animators to build puppets and actually get the season, like, cranked out or something like that. It's like, it's metaphorical flaunting of money. It's like tech racks, but taken to a very sick extreme.
Yeah, but see, that's criticism of the company. We're specifically talking about Red versus Blue at the moment.
Bernie is basically the company in a metaphorical sense.
Not
because
really.
He's one of the pillar guys, and he's the creative, executive producer, driving force behind a lot of it.
Not even anymore. Matt's CEO, but Gavin Free is now the creative director.
And Matt is arguably worse, and yes. Gavin is great. So I like, in general, Gavin. And Gavin, I like the other guys too, but it's all about approach.
Yeah. But it's sort of...
Anyway...
It's sort of that, yes, I agree, Red vs. Blue has lost some of the heart. Like, it's it's not those first 10 seasons. It has lost a lot of that feel of being these assholes in a room, basically making really funny and ridiculously emotional stories. I mean, Red vs. Blue is still my favorite show of all time. It's the reason I became a writer, and that I'm now in film school and so on. But I agree that it has lost some of its soul.
You want to know where part of my problem really comes from is the spirit of the change, which is the fact that Halo as a franchise is going through the same problem, where
yes.
it's changed hands to a different studio, so to speak, and it's growing pains of their writing.
343 is
I'm
straight up
transferring a little bit of that salt across the spectrum because it's a worthy enough comparison.
Yeah. Look, to be fair, I think we can at least agree that the writing in Halo 4 and Halo 5 it's ridiculously bad. 4 was alright.
Let me explain.
5 is fucking horribly written.
Halo 4 was good writing with absolutely crap gameplay.
Halo
5 is Call of Duty clone gameplay, so it's decent enough, it's proven enough, but the writing was just like, yeah.
The writing was so bad for Halo 5. I mean, laughably so.
Yeah, I mean, the whole red herring campaign of the marketing, the hunt the truth BS, and then all this freaking whatever the guy's name is, Spartan Noble or Spartan Locke. That's it. Yeah.
So the thing is that
the only good part of Spartan Locke was the freaking movie they made, the live action movie where he drops the havoc on that one asteroid. That was great.
The best part about
Nightfall.
The best part about Spartan Locke is that it sort of pushed Mike Coulter's career to the point where he ended up as Luke Cage. That was
and that's a great thing.
That's like a good side effect of that. But the fucking Halo 5 is... The problem is that with the Hunt the Truth stuff and the two sides of the same coin and the hunting the Master Chief, that was a cool story. I was so excited. And then the actual story was really, really dull and really bland. And it's like sort of, hey guys, people want to play here's a main entry to the Halo games. Let's have 15 levels, 12 of which you don't play as the Master Chief. 3 levels
don't get me
you play as
started on
Chief.
that.
Can we turn this back to My Little Pony?
No.
Let's go to Happy Times.
To be fair, James started the argument. I just expressed a little bit of upsetness.
A little bit.
A little
bit.
SkyBolt, this is like...
Well, if we want to talk about Salt, we can talk about how horrible the new Changelings design is.
Yes.
Oh,
my
changelings?
god.
Oh my god.
Not the baby ones, the reformed ones.
Yeah. Like,
From the league season finale.
let's just get this out
I
of the
didn't see that.
Alright.
Yeah.
Let's just get that. Let's get out of the way so that we don't seem 100% salty. I loved the season finale. I think it's one of the best season finales that the show has had in in its entire runtime. Forever.
I agree.
Crap, I haven't watched it yet.
It was really funny, really different, really unique. A great story, great setup, it was freaking awesome. And the ending was just executed so well. The only problem I have is the new Changeling design. It's the only.
Yeah, they look like Babby's first OC.
No, really? Are they like black and red and all that too?
No.
We are talking pony generator levels of
I can kind of see what they went for, with a very almost a deer-inspired design. With
I didn't get as much. I didn't get a deer vibe. I got more of a colorful, nice insect vibe.
I like the deer.
No.
But
I'm trying to look for this. I want to know what the hell these look like.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. Someone send me a link.
So,
I got a link in a few seconds here.
Also,
All right.
seeing the Changelings for the first appearance of Chrysalis in the finale.
Wait, what?
So creepy.
What?
There it is.
What is this?
That there is. Do you remember Thorax from the season start? The changeling who was nice.
The Changeling who Spike befriended.
That's him.
That's him.
Yeah, he's
that's
now
him.
king of the Changelings.
No. That's freaking BS. That's not how it's done.
Oh yes, of course. We
That
completely
is
forgot about the fact.
disgusting.
Guys, just realize
Like I
something.
said,
No.
Babby's first OC.
That
Thorax
looks like
is
the DHX colorist needs to be freaking fired because yikes.
Right.
Yeah, the color
Thorax
scheme
is
is off
also
a lot. It looks like they just slapped a bunch of colors on one character and just said, "Here you go."
Sick.
I'm
My
sorry,
issues
but
with the
my
colors,
crappy
it's like-
photoshopping,
it's
I
like
could
weird
use.
antlers and crap and a tail that looks like half of a wing.
right.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, this is literally like a hodgepodge kind of like. That wing is like the little sprite deals, the Scandinavian sprites. The wings look like a reject wings that they haven't used yet. And then the horns are like, this isn't a changeling. This is like freaking platypus, the pony.
Yeah. But that's why I say I think what they were going for was some kind of nice looking insect thing. Because I'm thinking some kind of horned beetle.
I don't know. He looks.
More creativity was put in the Fallout Radstags than this thing. What the heck? King Thorax.
Also, can we talk about the fact that Thorax is the first male ruler in LLP? Shining Armor doesn't count. He does not count. But
No.
so we got.
He isn't a male. He doesn't count as a male.
We've got princesses.
Yeah, he
got
doesn't count as a
queen.
male. He's more like a housewife.
He's the trophy husband.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah. No, that is fucking too similar.
That is. Wow, that's very similar. I mean, I'm not. I'm gonna leave the.
Yeah, but that's the point. I think they were going for some kind of like, nice bug look.
I guess so. The irony is that the more brightly colored a bug is in nature, the more poisonous it is. It's literally like, Science 101. It's like all these shows about friendly bears. It's like, bears aren't friendly. Bears will rip your arms off and eat them.
Well, you have just revealed the dark secret of Thorax. See, he is, in fact, truly toxic, but what he does is he goes on Tumblr, starts shitposting.
See, Thorax is the one. Thorax is one of those assholes just constantly posting Harambe memes and shit posting about dank memes everywhere. Oh, dicks out.
Yeah, he starts posting, make Equestria great again.
Yes!
No, that would have been even better is if they somehow squeezed a gorilla into the season finale.
Oh, no.
Just out of pure meme exploitation, which is what half the show is anyway. Oh, man. That's great. I love that. I can't wait.
Krellak, do you actually know who Harambe is?
You don't want to know.
No.
It sounds familiar, but you're talking about if you're talking about that.
Pick this up and just be like, he is God. He is like the gorilla.
So essentially,
a gorilla in the US who shopping kills.
Yeah, and
that one.
The appeal behind him is that there's all this you've got all this awful shit happening in the world, but the internet is just focusing on this one gorilla.
Yeah,
it's fucking hilarious.
And then people made it into a meme because they were basically making fun of things like Black Lives Matter because killed a black gorilla.
Oh god,
that's the thing. A lot of people were unironically equating the two, and I feel, at least from me, I posted about the meme originally because I was just so sick of seeing the damn gorilla everywhere. I was like, it's a gorilla. Like, I blame the zoo because there's no way a 3-year-old child should be able to get inside of a gorilla enclosure. But at the same time, it's like, when the gorilla is violently dragging a child through the water, you gotta shoot it. I mean, I really don't care.
I've seen the videos with that. That kid was getting ragdolled.
Yeah. Freaking, I've seen GTA characters get beat up less than that.
And you can't use a tranquilizer because then that'll just piss them off.
Well, people are going off of freaking video game tranquilizer physics.
Unlike Metal Gear Solid, tranquilizers in real life do not work that fast, especially on a fucking gorilla.
No.
Oh my god, antlings.
They go a little bit hissy, don't they? Because they feel the pain, then they run around a little bit, get angry, then they go to sleep, kind of thing. And
my idea, don't steal it.
This is like, even Jurassic Park exploited this. You remember in the crappy second Lost World Jurassic Park movie, they had the BS, red toxin where it's like, oh yeah, as soon as it hits the dinosaur's neck, bam, they down before they even realize they've been hit. And it's like, no, you can shoot them, and it's not going to work that fast because nothing ever works that fast. Your systems are going to collapse. This is what Michael Crichton is here to tell you.
Oh, speaking of Michael Crichton, we need to talk about Westworld.
Right?
Oh my god!
No more salt, now happiness. Westworld is amazing.
Total happiness.
What is Westworld? I have no clue what this is.
It's like Eastworld, but further over the equator, the prime meridian, the vertical one.
Okay, so essentially, in the future, there's a theme park where you can pay to go and do whatever the fuck you want, filled with robots, and it's all Western themed. And you can kill the robots, you can have sex with the robots, and essentially the show and mostly Michael Crichton have this very pessimistic view of the world that as soon as you get into a world where you can do whatever you want to the people inside of it, the first things you will do is either related to violence or sex. And and he's 100%
correct.
Yeah. But what's really great is the fact that they frame it almost like a video game. They take a lot of influence from Red Dead Redemption and BioShock, and you can see it. You can see it everywhere. And it works so well.
And this connects to Fallout because you watch the first episode, it's literally just synths. It's like they literally played Fallout 4 and they're like, yep, that's what we're going to do.
They did the Sims better than Fallout 4 did, though. They did Sims better.
Yeah, they put in the Da Vinci Circle and they dip them in the milk, the robot milk, and bam, you got skin now.
Yeah, and it's funny that even
Robot
the way
milk.
that they do the Sims is is so similar to the way they do it in Fallout 4, but the way they handle Sims is a lot better.
Yeah, I
it's
rewatched
really
the original movie, and the original movie doesn't actually explore the themes in great detail.
No,
it's
it
very
doesn't.
70s of a movie.
Like
Very
it's a solid movie, but the problem is that you're more excited about the premise than you are about the actual movie.
Yeah, it's another laid egg.
Why does what you're describing remind me of that? Was it a Disney movie a couple of years ago about some kind of some girl who got a badge that would intermittently sap her into a parallel dimension?
What?
You're implying anyone ever watched Tomorrowland, the movie?
That's one.
No, God, no. I did not watch Tomorrowland, the movie.
Okay, I'm a huge fan of Hugh Laurie. I liked Tomorrowland, the theme park, from ever since Disney was created. I never watched, and I like freaking, what's his name, Brad Bird. I didn't watch the movie. The movie marketing was terrible, and from what I heard, the movie is equally terrible. So,
It looks
yeah,
so
hopefully, if you saw it, you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. I mean, it had some very interesting, again, premises and concepts. I mean, just the idea about being able to go back and forth between dimensions, sort of, and all that. Plus, the way they described the tech was very, well, it was very Fallout-ish. I mean,
Oh, really?
bash. I mean, the guy in the trailer, you saw the bad robots trying to get into a house and stuff. And he had all kinds of traps and stuff set up. It looked like something taken straight out of a Fallout setting, with kit bashed sort of pseudo 50s, 70s kind of sci-fi tech.
That is what Tomorrowland basically is. It's basically, science fiction of the 1950s.
Yeah. Retro sci-fi, yeah.
Yeah.
Point that looked very much like that. Like it had that kind of aesthetic to it. But then, of course, after they did the dimension jump and all kinds of other bullshit, not nearly as impressive.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We are coming up to about an hour. We have...
Nice. Okay. What topic should we move into?
All right, so
a bit
let's
about the animatic.
Let's try steer away from the salt, if we can.
Wow. That was delicious, though.
That was a lot of fun. SkyBolt and I are enemies forever.
Yeah, annual.
I
We could talk about the studio's annual ritual sacrifice of the least productive member to the gods of productivity.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, who's it going to be this year?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Yeah, it's my first one.
Your first one, you get to take a stab, like the freaking end of
Yeah.
more Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah. I'll be Ollie because I'm the.
Because you're so
I'll be like for the watch.
All right, cool.
Gonna kill ya.
All right, cool. So, I think it's fair to say that our least productive member of the year is SkyBolt. I'm sorry, SkyBolt.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. I tried.
He only released 4 hours of content, and
Disappointing.
that's very disappointing.
Whoa. 5? At least 5. I mean, I had 45 minutes of Terminal Secrets and...
Yeah, but I mean, a fair portion of that was mine.
a little bit of it.
A little bit of it was mine. A little bit. But I'm pretty sure that everything from the audiobook and Stable Talk counts as mine as well. Like producer's rights.
You're counting the audiobook? Are you kidding me?
I'm counting
Okay,
the
if you're counting producer's rights...
Right, guys, no more. Okay.
Don't get me started.
It's not getting salty again, both of you.
If we're counting producer's rights, then I get James Kelly's album, and I get the frickin' Terminal Secret song.
Okay, yeah. But you see, I still get I still get all the Stable Talk.
You see, James is trying to make it a Cold War, and he's going to get me to the point where I upload all my SkyBolt channel Fallout stuff on the Stable Tech channel, just for the clicks.
Just for the clicks.
Which I am 100% prepared to do.
Fine, do it. So over last weekend, down here in Johannesburg, South Africa, we had the Rage Convention, which is one of the 2 video game conventions that actually happens in South Africa. Right.
Yeah.
But so I got to play because I also got media access pass, so I got to skip all the queues. I was playing Batman VR, and oh my god, I want VR so badly now. Like,
Is it true that Is it true that in that game you get face fucked by the Joker?
Holy cow! That's quite the VR experience.
Like, you guys have not.
Is it Mark Hamill in the background, like doing all the sound effects?
No,
That would be hilarious, actually.
See, the thing is that what they did was they really wanted to traumatize you with that scene, so they switched out Mark Hamill with Jared Leto.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's trauma.
And that is, but that is all we're going to talk about with related to Jared Leto, because we actually are banned from talking about the DC.
Well, you know what's funny is that's about as long as Jared Leto's Joker part was in Suicide Squad.
Oh shit! Okay, seriously, we're gonna get way too salty if we start doing this. If we go into this.
Oh man.
Fair enough.
That is the saltiest
Switch
episode.
topics to what's your
Except
favorite
for me.
Zootopia fanfictions?
There is I've
Yeah,
never
I
read a
actually wanna know
Zootopia
if anyone does
fanfiction.
have a favourite.
I've never read one.
I've never seen the film, but I really do actually want to. It did.
Oh,
look
you
good.
should, James. It's really good.
It's really fucking good. It is a
Yeah,
very.
I've watched
I've seen it.
Plot.
It
I've seen it
deserves
like
the
10
praise
times.
it gets.
Yep. There are a lot of really good fan fictions out there set in it.
I haven't read any fan fiction, but I did like a shitposting page, Zootopia, and apparently most of the fan fictions revolve around just standard shipping the
Yeah.
main 2 characters.
Okay,
You know,
to be fair, it's the same in the other
like modus
fan base.
operandi.
Well, actually, yeah, there is a lot of shipping in them, but some of them also just are like straight up, crime stories.
I like the implication that their child would somehow look like Eevee from Pokemon. That's good.
Yeah.
The what? Oh, yeah, yeah.
Fox plus Bunny equals Eevee. Yeah, that makes sense.
That depends on whether or not you think they can have like hybrids, which is like that is like a religion war in the Zootopia fandom, whether or not hybrids are a thing or not. I mean, you don't see them anywhere in the movie. Hybrids. In the movie.
Well, yeah, it's like
canon at all.
That could be the sequel, is they could make a whole story about, like, there's the rare ones that are able to, like the liger, they can reproduce, but it's problems. So the whole story will be them trying to find the drug that can, you can have your duck crocodile, whatever.
That's what, yeah. I mean,
just as an example.
Considering the original movies focus on prejudice and stuff, then having a second movie focus on interspecies dating and the prejudice about that.
That actually would work somewhat well, wouldn't it?
It would work,
Give it
but I
5
think
years.
you should leave it to fan fiction.
Yeah, but
Give it 5 years, Disney will make it. Absolutely.
Yeah, but it would fit. It would still fit within the narrative of the film or of the series.
Yep.
Like, unlike a lot of Disney sequels, not necessarily Disney sequels, but sequels in general. That
That's even better. A Disney sequel tier quality, but a fan fiction story? That sounds amazing. Straight to DVD in the creepy video store by your new friend's house.
the animation is spectacular. The story is creepy and probably illegal. Like, that film is probably illegal as fuck. Right.
Written by Jimmy Neutron 115.
Every now
Could
and
be
then-
worse. It could be.
Every now and then I scroll
Could
through.
be written by like Furry Yiffer 69XXX.
Oh man, that's
A slightly different kind of story that comes there.
I think Disney is approaching the point where they have so much money that they're just going to start trying a whole bunch of crap like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're Disney. At this point, they have so much money, they can do whatever the hell they want. And it's kind of like with Pixar, where if they make a bad film, like, we'll forgive them. They will get off scot-free if they make a bad film. Cough, cough, Cars 2, cough, cough.
Implying Cars 2 was their only bad film.
Well, yes, but it's like that's the one that sticks the most in my mind. Like, that is the really...
Cars 1 is worse than every other
I
film.
liked
except
Cars
2.
1. I liked Cars 1. Why does everyone hate that film so much?
What movie?
Cars 1.
Freaking Cars 1.
The first one was okay.
It was charming.
Yeah, all the sequels sucked, though.
Yeah, the sequel was not good. The sequel was definitely not good at all. Here's an interesting one, and I can't wait to be lambasted. I really didn't like The Incredibles. Like, everyone goes on about that film. I did not enjoy it.
See, this is where your opinion no longer matters in the conversation. The Incredibles is the top three, one of the top 3 Pixar films. Absolutely.
It bores the hell out of me.
Well, it is in essence a fairly cookie cutter story, but I like how it's told. Like How to Train Your Dragon. That story has been told a million times, but it's told very well.
How to Train Your Dragon is an exception. How to Train Your Dragon is really, really strong. I love that film.
That film just made me lonely because the main character had a girlfriend. I watched it and I was like, I really want a girlfriend. And then, that was
Okay, so you need to...
What superpower would your girlfriend have? That's actually a great argument. What superpowers would you want in a spouse? You have to be a normal person. What superpower does she have?
Oh, fuck. I don't know, like, to make people happy or something. I don't know. That'd be
What does that mean? You want to elaborate on that, James?
Make people happy. Normal happiness, like, not having mouth hugs, not those ones. Mental happiness. That's what I'm talking about.
Poor Mr. Kelly.
So James's girlfriend has the power to just magically create Vicodin wherever she goes.
Yes,
I actually like that. I might choose that power for my girlfriend also.
So, as good as the voice actor for Blue Ball is at the moment in Terminal Secrets, I think Mr. James Kelly should replace him as Blue Ball.
I just can't wait for his plot line to come full circle. I mean, it's in the name.
It is.
It's so great.
And it does. They do discuss it. They do bring it up. They do bring up the fact
that he loses his cutie mark if he ever gets some.
What replaces it then? That's the real answer.
That's a good point.
That's easy. He gets a white droplet as a cutie mark, and then his name changes to Nasty Nut.
Oh my goodness. Well, there you go, James. You've got episode 6 all written for you.
That's episode 5. That's happening in episode 5. SkyBolt is writing episode 6 for me.
Oh, that's right. All right. Yeah.
And that's going to be SkyBolt's last episode for Terminal Secrets. Oh my god, yeah.
It is. It's going to go out with a bang, not a whimper.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta wonder, like, how would a pony who gets like a porn star cutie mark react?
How would his parents react?
You gotta wonder how I'm going to top episode 3.
Although, I know exactly how to top episode 3. It's called episode 5. See, the thing is, you challenged me when you released a 4-hour episode of Confessions of a Wasteland Pony. You challenged me, SkyBolt.
You're implying that that's going to be the longest episode.
I know it's not going to be the longest episode because I have the script for episode 6.
Episode 6 is a fucking book.
Episode 6 it's a really strong episode. But God, it's long. Like, oh my God.
Episode 6, since we're teasing it for everyone, it's sort of like the ensemble, the full ensemble episode. Everyone comes back for something.
And special guest star James Vermont.
I know. Somehow James ended up in the story. What a piece of crap.
Can't talk about.
Yeah, is the stable door just going to suddenly turn up again? Just be like, oh hi, I'm here to haunt your memories too.
Yeah, James is actually going to be a ghoul Vault Tech or Sable Tech employee, a la the Vault Tech employee from Fallout 4.
Oh my God. Hello, my name is James Vermont.
Or maybe I should be the ghoul.
Yeah.
Oh wow, so Krellak's just going to be me then. That's cool.
It just works so much better, right? That's it, right? When casting comes around, just make Krellak. Sorted.
Actually, you know what? Crap. Take out the whole ensemble bit. I don't want to tease that yet. I'm sorry.
You don't. Okay.
No,
cool,
what you should introduce instead is a bunch of like prostitute ghouls who think that spooge is good to moisten their skin to like make sure that they look living.
I am not writing that. Wait, no.
Now we're getting into some serious fan fiction territory.
I am not writing that.
I'm going to need a paycheck before I can crank out something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, male ghoul prostitutes are canon. It was in Fallout New Vegas.
Well, if it's in New Vegas, then we've got. Then
female
it's got.
too. You had to get the cowgirl from the Adam whatever.
Well, if it's in New Vegas, then I guess it's perfect because you can't
male
shit talk New Vegas.
be able
That's
to-
against internet law.
Yeah, but I don't think what the ghouls would ejaculate would be very healthy for you. It'd probably be very radioactive.
And very green.
Yeah.
Like
I
Can
said,
they get it up though? Because they don't, they're dead. So it'll just be limp.
I don't know.
I think that's like a huge problem. You can't even put Viagra down there because it's just there's nothing there, kind of thing.
Yeah,
there's
but
no blood
Hancock
flow.
somehow gets it up.
Whoa,
Oh my god, guys.
Ghouls have blood flow.
Oh, that's a
Ghouls
good point.
definitely
Actually,
have-
Hancock did it.
Hancock
This
gets
isn't
it
like
up.
the freaking the vampire problem with Twilight. Ghouls are alive. They're just alive with some extra special magic goo.
Yes, because we know, and ghouls can get it up because as Dr. Greenshift
Because it's already
explained.
canon in freaking Confessions.
No, as Dr. Greenshift explained, they have blood. The glowing is from their blood.
It can be quite invigorating.
I swear to God. He is somehow filthier than DJ Pony, and it's really really creepy because he's basically everyone's grandpa. He is the grandpa of the show.
He's literally everyone's grandpa.
I mean that is exactly what I mean. Fucking DJ Pony even calls him that. We can all call you grandpa.
Oh man. Now it's gonna be fun. I gotta get back to writing episode 7 at some point. I'm literally like halfway done, and then freaking my real life job hit me with all this crap 2 weeks ago, so I haven't been able to add any more to it.
I'm still gonna get back to writing Eternal Secrets 5 while Mohan finishes 4. See, I'm lucky.
Bojangles?
Yeah. I'm lucky. I have a writing team for Terminal Secrets. SkyBolt has to do confessions all on his lonesome. Because he won't let anyone else help.
As a name should only be given to a pony who has like enough genital piercings that they sort of, jingle jangle.
Holy cow. That's a song parody right there.
I
would have fun doing the sound effects for that.
Jingle, jingle.
Jingle balls, jingle all the way.
Oh, what fun it is to ride.
No, you're doing it wrong. It should be, oh, how fun it is to glide in and out of a butthole because I'm gay. I don't know.
Wow. Fucking wow.
And there you have your thing for the male ghoul prostitute.
Well.
Okay. Just wow. I have no idea how to respond to that, actually. Never mind. I had a smart ass comment, but it's not. No. Good fucking God.
Can we have $1 million butt?
Yes. Oh my God. Okay.
Gosh.
$1 million, but you get fucked up the ass by a male ghoul prostitute.
No, I'm not gonna take that.
Sorry. Yes, because dollars are worthless in that. Dollars are worthless in this situation. 1 million caps, but.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you had like 1 million caps, then you'd like. Well, we live in the real world. All we would get is like the next Fallout game, and just be like, hey, look, I've got loads of caps. I'm a really huge fan. And that's about what you get. That'd be horrible.
Yeah, but see, someone already did that. Bethesda's never gonna.
Half-Life 3.
Half-Life 3 coming 2017, confirmed.
$1 million, but Half-Life 3 never comes out.
Oh, I'd take that. I'm not invested in the Half-Life franchise.
At that point, it makes no difference to you. It's basically just a free $1 million.
That's almost like saying, will you take $1 million to have Half-Life fanboys like angry at you for the rest of your life? Like, how many Half-Life fanboys would be, hacksaws or, the freaking ducks people?
Okay. Yeah, see, that's the big thing is, so Half-Life, no, there will never be a Half-Life 3, you get $1 million, and everyone knows that it was your fault.
Yeah, that would actually be really fascinating to, track how that would play out.
people
It's just
would-
like the lottery where they announce your name publicly, and it's like, okay, well now everyone's coming after me.
Motherfucker. All right, cool. I'm going into hiding. Sweet. At least you got the $1 million to, help you hide from angry fanboys.
I don't think it would last long, though, would it? I mean, is it $1 million that goes with inflation? We've got to get into this economy shit now.
Here's
$1 million isn't much.
Here's the question, though. When you sort of talk about, hey, you get $1 million, or I wish I had all this money. Do you think it either appears from thin air, or do you think that somewhere, someone in the world loses $1 million, like some crime boss or something?
Oh, so it's like the box, like Twilight Zone and movie thing?
Right, like...
Someone has to die that you don't know, and then you get the thing?
Yeah. So, but the way it does it almost happens through, the money transfers from the, say, from this crime lord's bank account into your bank account. You now got $1 million, but he can fucking see that it went into your bank account.
Oh.
And you don't quite know that.
As long as the $1 million comes in like one of those sweet like aluminum cases, that makes it okay.
Yeah, because aluminum cases make it all better, because then those always have a satisfying click when you open them.
Absolutely.
Like, I think that's
Or you could invest half of it, give half back to him, and then he won't kill you.
Invested in butt-touching games.
Why would you need to invest in butt-touching games? Ask the internet. There are butt-touching games.
No, like invest in making more of them.
I mean, I'm sure not only are there butt-touching games, I'm pretty sure that every single fan base has at least 2 or 3 fan fictions where the characters play butt-touching games. I'm pretty sure there's one for Fallout Equestria. I'll guarantee you.
There is a name for this somewhere. Rule something or other.
I don't think there's a rule for like fiction about characters playing butt-touching games.
Yes, like this isn't sex. This is just butt-touching. Like just touching each other's
I've
butt.
literally put in butt-touching games Fallout Equestria into Google, and the first thing is About Us, Stable Tech Studios.
What?
What?
Not even kidding.
You gotta be kidding me. No.
No,
I'll send you.
What's it say about us?
I don't know if it's like going to come up different for you guys, but yeah.
Yeah, I got something else.
But I got that.
I got a link to Derpy Borough.
I've got
I've got a simulator.
No, I've got a whole bunch of other stuff. I've got Project Horizons.
Yeah, Project Horizons. Yeah.
I've got Project Horizons. I've got Fallout Equestria, Blood and Pancakes. I've got a link to
I got
Derpy
Blood
Borough.
Pancakes too. That's the one that came up for me.
Yeah.
I've got
And
Fox
then
News.
staff bios of Stable Tech Studios is the 6th listing.
Wow.
Wait.
We are popular.
Okay, let's see whose fault this is. Who wrote butt in their bio?
That's a good point. Yeah.
Control F. Butt. Oh, of course it's frickin' Tyler Teschke.
Yeah.
Dang it, Tyler.
Huh. And okay, cool. And we found a picture of SFM Little Pip touching an SFM Velvet's butt. Wait. Oh no, that is not where her hoof is.
Page. Like half these people aren't even anymore.
No, wait, no.
Yeah, definitely needs to be updated.
Sorry, I was wrong. Little Pip's hoof is not on Little Pip's flank. It's slightly more to the center. Good God.
Slightly more to the center.
Like, you can't see anything from this angle, but
How lewd.
it's a. This just became a loony podcast for loony ponies.
It's okay, it's SFM, so it's almost like a G.I. Joe. It's stuff.
And everyone in the SFM community just snapped their shit, and they're now pissed off at us, and there's another shitstorm in the comments. Stable Talk Podcast episode 4. 90% salt, 10% West
good, and SFM butt touching is also good.
Yeah.
Just in general,
Has
butt
anyone-
touching.
Has anyone seen the season finale
Of what?
Yes.
of Friendship is Magic?
Yes.
We were just speaking about that earlier, dude.
We talked about that earlier with the insect guy.
Who the fuck were you?
Oh, he was playing the butt touching games while we were talking about it.
there's a part in the episode where Chrysalis, like, she bends wrong.
Yes.
Yes.
That was so creepy.
It's brilliant.
Is it like that bit where Pinky bends the other way
No.
in the season 3 finale?
So
it's reminiscent of. Is it what's it called? Not train watching.
Train spotting.
Train spotting, where the thing crawls. Where there's like a baby that crawls across the ceiling, and then the head spins around.
Yeah, that was basically like that.
Literally like something taking out of a horror movie.
Like, it was fucking terrifying. I was genuinely so creeped out. I think it was the strongest way to make Chrysalis almost appear as a formidable villain, just using visuals and sound effects alone, which is important in a visual medium. That's like...
Yeah, you think that would be like a thing, yeah.
That's unfortunate. Like, this is one of those things that MLP really... It dances on that line where so often it has the most fantastic visual humor, but then the storytelling is very weak from a visual side. Like, there's a lot of things that they could explain with visuals that they choose to use exposition for instead, which I get, kids show. But I think there were other ways they could have looked at it.
The exposition train.
Like if you look at how so now that everyone has seen the animatic, there's no inner monologue. So Mohan had the challenge of explaining the backstory to Fallout Equestria in that opening, with no monologue or no dialogue whatsoever.
Yeah, true.
That's what the newspaper headlines are for.
Yeah. But even then, he uses very, very little of the actual newspaper headlines. It's mostly just the visuals of going from one place to another, to another, to another. Which is, that's essentially how all the stable tech writers were then conditioned and taught. And but it's a good example of, if this is a visual medium that we're working in, you should, you have an excuse in your doing an audio drama, because then you've got to try and explain. Although, even then, so many audio dramas use sound cues instead to do storytelling rather than exposition.
Yeah, or grandiose introductions.
Yeah, I don't like grandiose introductions, like with big monologue explaining the state of the world and what's happening. I always find that's just... I always find it's just a lazy way to introduce your story.
Oh, that's creepy.
I still think we should open with one of those, like the screen, freezes, and then you hear that record scratch and the rewind, and then Lil Pip's like, probably wondering how I got in this situation.
Oh my god, yes! That's fucking right.
It's like, why did that open every single show from the 2000s? Like, why was that a thing?
I love doing the podcast. I really, really do. I'm actually curious. This is both to everyone in the podcast and to people listening. Would you like to see the podcast coming in a lot more regularly? What are your thoughts on that? We do them, once every 4 weeks now, once every 6 weeks. So, just to give everyone sort of a bit of context, we got distracted, ended up discussing studio stuff, it got cut into editing. We have no idea where the fuck we were before. On the bright side, podcast is happening once every 2 weeks now. Yay!
2 weeks.
Just don't forget to invite me.
Don't forget to bring a towel. Is that?
Everybody needs a towel. Fresh pants and cotton swabs.
Everybody, don't forget to bring a condom.
Now that's the last thing I'd bring to this. I'm going in raw, baby.
Wow. Okay, so
like raw.
by the way, interesting fact: "I'm going in raw, baby" is the final line of Confessions of a Wasteland Pony.
Wow.
It's not spoken by DJ Pony; it's spoken by Duchess Rosepetal.
Oh my goodness.
Because face it, she's the one on top. She is the one on top of the...
Well, that's what they used that horn for.
Oh, shit.
Oh, snap.
Scrunicorns. I think she's a scrunicorn.
Screwed.
No, she's not a unicorn. She's unicorn.
Oh, motherfucker. That seems like a great place to end on. This podcast has already run into like an hour and 20 minutes. We work so hard, no one pays us. Someone pay us, please. Someone give me money. I need to eat. Okay. Mr. Krellak, would you mind queuing us out?
Yes.
Sing the song of our people.
Yeah, you
We
gotta
don't
sing.
have a song.
You have to sing the farewell.
What's the farewell?
I don't know. Make it up as you go along.
I can come up with some very lewd song lyrics if you need.
Do it right now.
Flushing profusely, there's no use, you will see. My anus is ravaged by furious but flow. Demonic, the dookie, the smell is quite spooky. My rectum gets ruined as I sing the song. Demon lax, you get white hot in apocalypse. Pressure awesome so you get no peace. You simply have the cheese. Stretched out and crusty, my butthole you must see. The